to SDN Tech Forum. Now we are going to get started with our free tier AWS account. And the first thing what you want to understand is AWS account root user credentials and IAM, Identity and Access Management user credentials. There are two different type of user in AWS. Either you are account owner or root user, or you are a IAM user. The credentials of the account owner will allow full access to all resource accesses in the account. You cannot use an IAM policy to deny the root user access to resources explicitly. So that means root user is very powerful. Even you cannot even control it with IAM policy. All right. And then on the other hand, we have IAM credentials, which is used for non-root user, where you can grant permission, and we will do that in later stages. So why to use root user? The recommendation that you use an IAM user with appropriate permissions to perform tasks and access AWS resource. So the recommendation way or recommended way to work with AWS is to have IAM user groups created and assign appropriate permissions so that they can perform their task, access various AWS resources. However, why do we need root users? So for some tasks, the root user is mandatory. And what are those tasks? Change your account setting. If you want to change account name, emails, demography, you need to be a root user. Restore IAM user permission. So think of it like a super admin kind of thing. So you can work out your IAM user permission if you're a root. Activate IAM access to the billing and cost management. Billing and cost management is sensitive data, and you can only activate IAM access when you are root. Close your AWS account. Obviously, configure MFA delete for S3 bucket, register as a seller, and sign up for GovCloud. So this, I'm going to paste this link in the description. Please go ahead and read this. And now let's go and log in to our AWS account, apply MFA to root user, and then we create a new IAM user, which will have some administrative privileges so that he can do pretty much same thing what a root user can do, except the things what we discuss here. Right. So that's the goal of this demonstration. So this is newly signed up account. As you can see on my root user, there is no multi-factor authentication available yet. You may land into a different page like recently visited. Search for IAM. Once you click on IAM, you'll be landed here. And the first thing what you see is a security recommendation, add MFA for the root user. So that's what we want to do. We want to add a MFA. There are various type of multi-factor authentication you can do. Use MFA to increase authentication code, activate MFA. Here are three types you can choose. Either you can have a security key like a UB key or fade chain. You can have a hardware MFA device like RSA devices or Zomato token. But what we are going to do, we are going to use virtual MFA device, which is authenticator app installed on your mobile device or computer. So on your mobile, you can find Google Authenticator, which is a very famous one, or you can use Cisco Duo. Show Q. Install the compatible app. Let's see what are the compatible app here. While I bring in my Duo. Okay. FIDO security key. These are certified product. Virtual authenticator. You can see there is range of apps available as authenticator on Android and iOS. We have Duo Mobile on both those e-store, App Store, and then you have Google Authenticator pretty much available everywhere. And then you have TOTP algorithm, and which is hardware MFA. So choose whatever authenticator type you want to use. I'm assuming you will use a virtual authenticator because it give you a easy access from your mobile phone. So whatever authenticator app you wish to choose, open that app and scan the QR code. Once you scan the QR code, you have to set the password. And this is actually increasing the length of our video because I'm trying to do it live. Okay, pick a strong password. Though you are using a hardware or a authenticator, don't rely on a easy password. Right. So let's give the first code. And you have to type 2 MFA codes. So you open your newly added account once, close it, let the MFA expire, and then launch another code. So, and if you don't know how to use an authenticator, I'm going to generate a, I'm going to create a shorts so that I'll show you how to use. Now you see my MFA account is created and I can again go ahead and manage. I can remove MFA or you can resync. All right, so this is good. Now if I sign out, and you can see when I am working with IAM, I'm into global. So IAM is a global construct. That means it is not tied to any region. It is global across the region or available across the region. Let me sign out. Try to log back in. Here you can see it is prompting me for MFA code. Okay. And here you go. I am logged into my closest VPC region. Every time you log in, you have to make sure that you are in the right VPC region. Okay. It's giving me US West, but I want to create my resources for this lab purposes in US East. All right. So right now we are not going to create any region specific services like EC2, S3 and etc. Let's go ahead and finish working with IAM. That means create another user. So that we can stop working with root user. So here you have users, groups, user groups, roles, and policies. You can also use identity provider like SAML authenticator, SAML to have a federation integration like with your SSO, single sign-on. Let's go to users. I'm going to create a user called SDN Tech. And we are going to enable password, or you can, what you can do, you can say, give them a access key which can be used for AWS API, CLI, and SDK development. But we want to give a password, auto generated password or custom password. Let me give a custom password here. And as you can see, there is some password restrictions. I'm not going to say show password. So user must new password when he sign in. User must create a new password at next sign in. If it is a third party user, like I'm creating a user for myself, so it is not needed. But if you're creating a user for someone else, probably it's a good idea to check this box so that they can change the password. You obviously have to share the password, but on the first login, they are going to change the password and set it to something appropriate, which is appropriate for them. Yeah, and easy to remember. All right, next is permission. So first you can create a user group and assign permission and come and add user, but we are taking from the left. So we created a user first. Now let's create a user group, because permissions can only assign to user group, not an individual user. So let's create a group. And as you can see, there are few default user groups already created. So we can probably choose one of them. And as you can see, this is administrative access job function, provide full access to AWS services and resource. So I think to start with, this looks good. Okay, group name failed. Okay, these are the access associated with this. So let's cancel this once. I'm going to say create group, and I will say group name is SDN admin. And I'm going to associate a policy, administrator access. This is the policy you are attaching with the group called SDN admin, and say hit create group. Now, since we started with this workflow, now it is asking me add user to the group. All right. Add user to existing group or created a new one. This is the group I want to create. Say next. I'm going to say role. So it's always a good idea to create some tags, and you will see tags comes really handy when we are doing some kind of like a reporting or cost management. Admin. So I have a tag called role. Within role, I can have multiple value like administrator, observer, and others. So this is my user. This is the access type, AWS Management Console with password. Custom password type is custom. Permission boundary is not set, and we will revisit this later on. But you can see this user SDN tag is part of SDN admin, and it has a tag value of admin. Also, policy is assigned as administrator access. Right. Let's go ahead and say create user. Success. You have successfully created the user, and AWS console access. You can go to this console. Also, how you are going to share this user uh, uh, user credentials to the respective user. You can send email. Okay, so it says allow us to open a link to associated app, and once I hit this, it is going to open launch a mail app. We don't want to do that. Let me just download this, and you can share this whatever means you have in your organization. Okay, so you can see this is my username. Obviously, password, you have to share the password, and this is the link a user should use. Now, for verification, let's try to sign out, sign in, and this time we use IAM user. Looks like this is not the right one, the console. So let me open this again. I'm sure you can select IAM here. I don't know why it's being sticky. Okay, so this is our org IAM sign-in page, as you can see. So here we are going to say SDN Tech, the newly created user, and the password is going to what I set. Now say sign in. Your authenticated information is incorrect. Maybe I'm typing in wrong password here. So let me sign in one more time. Okay. SDN tag, password. I just set the password and now I'm having tough time remembering that. Okay, my bad. I was typing the password wrong. So now you can see I am logged in and I'm logged in as SDN and it is landing me to Oregon region. And here you can see this is all new constant and I am a IAM user, SDN tech. Let's see what access I have. You need permission. You don't have permission to access billing because you are not a root user. What else I can do? Can I create another user because I am administrator? Let's go and check. Okay, add MFA to yourself. As you can see, root user has a MFA. Now it is asking me to add MFA to this new user, which is a part of best practices. Let's go and say add user. As you can see, I'm allowed to add new users. So pretty much with admin access, I can do pretty much everything like launching a EC2 instance, um, creating a security access group, S3 bucket, EBS volume snapshot, pretty much everything I can do being a administrative privilege. Launch instance. So you can see it is letting me launch instance, but we are not going to launch any. I'm just going to sign out from here. And in next video, we'll start working with elastic compute instances, which is EC2 and then S3. So stay with me. Thank you very much.